Zura was not like the others on the ship. She was small, green-skinned, and had 3 fingers on each hand. Her large purple eyes blinked as she peeked around the corner of the human dining area. Her heart thumped fast in her chest. She pressed her back against the wall and tried to breathe quietly. She had just heard something. Something terrifying. One human male had laughed and said, "I could just eat her up," and the others laughed with him. But Zura did not laugh. She froze. Back on her homeworld of Sikaria, that phrase had only one meaning: to consume a mate. Literally. It was a horrible act, something from ancient times when wild males used to eat their partners after mating. Zura's skin turned pale. Was this what human males did? She had come to the human ship as part of a cultural exchange program. It was supposed to be peaceful. A way for different species to learn about each other. She had learned many things already, like how humans walk, how they wear shoes, and how they use sound for emotions. But this was not in the guidebook. She crouched lower, hiding behind some crates of food. Her translator chip was working fine. She knew she had heard the words correctly. Eat her up. That's what he said. And the way he looked at the human female Zura could tell he liked her. Zura's antennae twitched nervously. Maybe it's a joke, she whispered to herself. But the idea didn't help, because if it was a joke, it was not funny. Not to her. On her planet, no male ever said such things unless he meant them. Suddenly, she heard footsteps coming her way. She gasped and ducked her head. The crates shook slightly. A tall shadow passed in front of her. It was the same human, the one who said it. His name was Eli. He was one of the kind ones. He smiled a lot, helped her carry things, talked to her slowly and clearly, but now his smile looked like a trap. Zura pressed her back against the wall and held her breath. "Hey, Zura?" Eli's voice called out gently. "You okay?" "You ran off so fast." Zura didn't answer. She peeked around the edge slowly. Eli was standing just a few meters away, holding a food tray. He looked confused but not angry. "Do you want some of this?" he asked kindly. "It's just grilled chicken. Tastes like the stuff you liked yesterday." "Chicken?" Zura's eyes widened. On her world, meat was rare. Most Sikari ate plants and sweet roots. But the idea of grilling someone made her stomach turn. She stood up slowly, forcing a shaky smile. "Thank you, Eli, but I am not hungry." He nodded, then shrugged. "No problem. If you change your mind, let me know." He turned and walked away. Zura sank to the ground the moment he left. Her heart was racing. Her mind was spinning. They grill their mates first? She whispered. Do they marinate them too? She had to do something. She needed answers. She tapped her wrist communicator and opened a private log. She would send a report back to Sikaria. Field report number 1. Human males speak kindly, but their words hide danger. I have overheard a male expressing desire to eat a female. They may be using food preparation as part of the mating process. Further observation needed. I am scared. Zura sighed and ended the log. She looked around the corridor, making sure no one was watching her. Then she slipped away, deciding to avoid Eli for now. The humans were strange, too many expressions, too many hidden meanings. Her translator chip had warned her about slang, but she didn't realize it could be so dangerous. Later that night, she sat alone in her small sleeping pod. The lights were dim. Her thoughts were loud. She remembered how Eli had looked at the human girl. His eyes were soft, gentle. The girl had smiled too. She didn't seem afraid. Maybe she didn't know yet. Maybe she didn't know she was about to be eaten. Zura covered herself with her blanket and whispered, "What kind of species eats the ones they love?" She didn't know the answer, but she had a feeling she was about to find out. Zura dreamed of teeth. Big, flat, human teeth grinning at her while soft music played in the background. In her dream, a male leaned closer, whispered, "You look delicious," and opened his mouth wide. She woke up with a sharp gasp. Her body was shaking. Her antennae twitched. She clutched her blanket tight. The dream felt so real. She sat up in her small pod, her mind still foggy. A cold sweat slid down her back. Was it just a nightmare? Or was her subconscious trying to warn her? Outside her pod, the human ship was quiet. Most were still sleeping. But she knew one person who was always awake early. Eli, the same human male, who had smiled at her. The one who had said he could eat her up. The one who had offered her meat. The one who kept watching her with those warm, terrifying eyes. Zura tried to stay calm. She stood, stretched her arms, and told herself, "Today, I will observe him. I need the truth. Not every human could be dangerous. Maybe Eli was just strange." She walked slowly to the dining area again, and there he was sitting alone, sipping something hot from a mug, steam rising into the air. His messy brown hair stuck up on one side. His face was calm, relaxed. Too relaxed. He spotted her. And, just like that, he smiled. Zura's tail stiffened. There it is again. That smile, was it friendly? Or was it the same smile a predator gave just before it pounced? "Hey, good morning," Eli said, raising a hand. Zura gave a small fake smile back. "Good morning." She sat at the far end of the table. Not too close. Not too far. Just enough distance to run, if needed. Eli stood and walked toward her. Zura's heart skipped. He was bringing something. A bowl. "This is porridge. No meat, I promise." He placed it gently in front of her. "Figured you might want something light today," Zura blinked. Her translator confirmed. Porridge equals soft, warm plant-based food. So, not female? She stared at the bowl, then at Eli. "Why are you being nice to me?" He looked surprised. "Because you looked scared yesterday." "Did I do something wrong?" Zura stayed silent. She didn't know how to explain it. He sat across from her, still holding his mug. "I've been trying to understand your people better. But I guess we humans can sound weird sometimes." Zura leaned forward just a little. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Do all human males eat their females?" Eli blinked. Then he coughed. Then he laughed. Not a loud laugh, but the kind where you don't know whether to laugh or be shocked. "What?" No, we don't eat anyone," he said, almost choking on his drink. "Where did you hear that?" Zura's cheeks turned dark green. "You said yesterday I could eat her up, and others said it too," with smiles. Eli covered his face with one hand. Oh no. That's just an expression." Zura tilted her head. "Expression? It means, when someone is cute or sweet or you like them a lot. We don't really mean eat them." He laughed nervously. "It's like saying someone is so adorable, you could just never mind. It sounds worse when I explain it." Zura stared at him for a long time. "No chewing?" she asked carefully. "No chewing. No cooking?" "Absolutely not." She looked down at her bowl of porridge. Everything she had believed in the last day was completely wrong, but Eli was still smiling, and somehow that made her even more nervous. "Then why do you keep smiling at me like that?" she whispered. Eli froze. He opened his mouth to answer, then stopped. Zura's eyes narrowed. Her tail flicked. "He's hiding something again." Before he could speak, a loud voice interrupted them from the hallway. "Eli, we've got training in 5. You coming?" "Yeah." "Be right there," Eli shouted. Back. He stood quickly, grabbed his mug, and gave Zura one last glance and another smile. Then he was gone. Zura stared at the door where he disappeared. Maybe humans didn't eat their females with teeth. But something about Eli's smile made her stomach twist in strange ways, and she wasn't sure anymore which feeling was worse, fear or curiosity. Zura did something very dangerous that evening. She followed the human. Not from far away, like before, but inside. Ely had invited her to hang out in his room. He said he wanted to show her something called a movie. She didn't know what a movie was, but it sounded like a ritual. She agreed. Because this time, she wanted to see exactly what he did behind closed doors. If he plans to eat me, she thought, I will see the cooking tools first. She stepped through the doorway, and the door slid shut behind her with a soft hiss. Now she was locked inside with him. Her heart thumped. She scanned the room quickly. No sharp tools, no strange smells, no bones. Instead, it was clean, kind of cozy. Soft lights, a big couch, pillows, and some glowing screen on the wall. Eli smiled and said, "Welcome to my humble cave." Cave? She thought. Humans still live in caves? She stepped forward slowly, antennae alert, tail tight. Eli chuckled. "Relax, no traps, just movies and snacks." Snacks? She froze. Was that a code word? Was she the snack? Eli walked over to the couch and dropped himself down with a sigh. "Come sit. I promise not to bite." "Bite," he said. "Bite." Zura gave a stiff nod and sat on the very edge of the couch, so close to the edge that one wrong move would send her rolling onto the floor. Her eyes stayed locked on Eli's hands. If he reached for anything sharp, she'd scream. But he didn't. He just picked up a small box, pressed a button, and the screen on the wall lit up with color and music. Strange human shapes appeared on it. They talked, ran, laughed, fell in love. She watched closely. "They're mating?" she asked after 5 minutes. Eli turned pink. Well, yeah, kind of." "Do they eat each other later?" "What?" "No." Eli burst out laughing. "Zura, come on. That's not how human love works." Zura frowned. "Then why do they kiss?" "It looks like tasting." Eli choked on his drink. "No, it's affection. We kiss people we care about." Zura looked at the screen again. 2 humans were hugging now. Soft music played. Zura leaned in and whispered, "So, touching is normal too?" Eli nodded. "Of course. It shows closeness, like trust." She sat back slowly. Her mind was full of questions, spinning like a broken drone. So far, there were no knives, no fire, and no screaming females. Only silly music and strange facial rubbing. Still, she had to be sure. "Do you cook alone?" she asked softly. Eli blinked. "What? No, I'm not cooking tonight." She narrowed her eyes. "What about your females?" He laughed again, now totally confused. "What females?" "I don't have a girlfriend." Zura's eyes widened. "So, you are hungry?" Eli stared. "Zura, do you think I invited you here too?" He stopped, looked at her expression, and burst out laughing again. "Oh, stars," he said between laughs. "You're still worried I'm going to eat you, aren't you?" She didn't answer. She simply stared. Eli leaned forward, serious now. "Listen, I would never hurt you, not even a little. You're safe with me, okay?" His voice was low, kind, honest. Zura looked at him, really looked. And something inside her began to shift. Maybe. Just maybe. She was wrong about human males, but before she could ask more, the screen suddenly showed the male character, lifting the female up in his arms and pushing her against a wall. Zura's eyes popped open. Ah, now he is attacking her. Eli slapped his forehead. "It's just a romance scene. She is pinned. She cannot escape. She likes it." "How do you know?" "She's not even fighting. She's—" "Never mind," Eli groaned. "You want me to turn it off?" Zura hesitated. She leaned forward slowly, eyes fixed on the screen. The female was now smiling as the male kissed her again. "No," Zura said softly. "I want to understand more." But in the back of her mind, one thought still whispered, even if they don't eat with teeth. Humans are still very, very dangerous. Zura was staring at a spoon like it was a weapon, not because she planned to use it, but because she thought it might be used on her. She sat at a round table, surrounded by 3 humans. And they were all smiling, laughing, eating and watching her. It was her first time attending a friendly dinner. Ailey had invited her. He said, "It'll be fun. My friends want to meet you." But all Zura could hear were sharp words from yesterday still bouncing in her head. "She's so sweet, I could just gobble her up. She's a snack and a half. If I take one more bite of her cuteness, I'll explode." What did that mean? She didn't know, but she felt like the bite might be real this time. Eli sat beside her. His hand was resting near hers, too. Near, across the table, sat a human female named Jenna. She had sparkly eyes, shiny teeth, and lips painted bright red. Zura thought she looked like a jungle flower. Beautiful but dangerous. Jenna leaned in and smiled at her. "Zura, you're adorable. I just want to squeeze you." Zura froze. "Squeeze? Like for juice?" She laughed nervously. "Thank you." Then came Marco, tall, loud, with a voice like thunder. He pointed at her and said, "I told you, Eli, she's cute enough to eat." Zura's spoon fell. That was it. The phrase, again. Eli face-palmed. "Marco, don't, I'm joking." Marco laughed. "Come on, I don't mean actually eat her. I mean she's small and squishy." And Zura stood up so fast her chair almost tipped. "Small and squishy? Are you measuring my meat value?" The table went silent. Jenna blinked. "Wait, what?" Zura's voice trembled. "Is this the moment you all bring me here? Fatten me up with sweet juice and soft bread, and then mating feast?" Eli stood up. "Zura, no. No one's eating anyone." Zura pointed at Marco. "He said I was a snack. On my planet, snack means small prey." Marco raised both hands. "Okay. Whoa, this is getting weird." Jenna frowned. "Zura, do you really think I don't know what to think anymore," she shouted, eyes wide, tail twitching. "I have read your words, seen your shows, heard your phrases. You call females tasty, delicious. You even call them muffins. What is that?" Eli looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. Then, finally, Jenna burst out laughing. "Oh my stars, she doesn't understand any of our flirting." Zura narrowed her eyes. "Flirting?" Eli gently touched her arm. "It's like when a human likes someone, they use silly words. Sweet words, sometimes food words. It's not meant to scare, just to make the other person smile." Zura looked down at the spoon again. So, she wasn't the meal? She was the compliment? Slowly, she sat down again. Her hands still shook. "I do not understand your language," she whispered. Eli smiled softly. "That's okay, we'll teach you." Jenna smiled too. "Yeah, and for the record, if a human really wants to eat you, they probably just want to kiss you." Zura blinked. "Kiss? Is the soft face biting, yes?" Eli groaned into his hands. "This is going to take a while." Zura looked around the table again. The laughter had returned. Not evil laughter, just loud, happy laughter. And though she still wasn't sure what snack meant, one thing was clear. For now, she was safe. The emergency alarm in Zura's mind went off not because of danger, but because Eli was smiling with his eyes again. It wasn't the usual human smile. This one was slow, quiet, focused directly at her. It made her feel warm and nervous all at once, like she had touched a glowing wire. She panicked. "I knew it," she shouted, jumping up from her seat in the research lab. "You do want to eat me." The other humans in the room all turned. Eli, who was just trying to pass her a data tablet, froze midair. "Whoa, what?" Zura pointed at his face. "That look. That slow smile. I read about it in a human book. It's called bedroom eyes. One technician dropped his tablet. Another spit out coffee. Eli turned red. Zura, please. Not here. But it's true, right? She demanded. The books say, when a male looks at a female like she is food, it means mating time is near. You looked at me like a full-course meal, Eli groaned. Okay, everyone out. Meeting's over. The humans awkwardly left the lab, some holding. Back laughter. Once the door closed, Eli turned to her. Zura, we need to talk, seriously. She folded her arms. I'm listening, but you better be honest. He sighed, walked over to her, and sat on the edge of the lab table. Zura, on Earth, we say a lot of weird things. Expressions, slang, things that don't mean what they sound like. Like calling someone a muffin? Exactly. Or saying you'll eat someone up. Yes, or saying a girl is thick like a snack. Eli choked. Where are you hearing all this? She pulled out a small holopad, human internet. It's full of forbidden knowledge. Eli buried his face in his hands. Of course it is. Zura sat beside him. So explain it then. All of it. Because I don't want to run anymore. And I don't want to faint if you say I look tasty. He looked at her seriously now. Zura. When humans say those things, it's usually because they think someone is attractive, cute, lovely. It's not about real food. It's about feelings, romance, she whispered. Is that the thing where two humans kiss under the moon and then share one noodle? He smiled. That's one version, sure. Zura stared at him, her voice soft now. So when you say I'm sweet, or when you smile at me like that, you're not thinking of dinner. No, Eli said gently. I'm thinking that. You're smart, brave, curious, and a little crazy. He smiled wider. But I like that. Zura's cheeks turned dark green. She looked down at her hands. Her voice was barely a whisper. So, you like me, I do. She nodded slowly, brain buzzing with new thoughts. Then she asked, so, when do you plan to taste me? Eli's eyes shot open. Well, Zura quickly raised her hands. I meant kissing, kissing. You said that was tasting with love. Eli laughed so hard he fell back onto the table. Stars above, you're gonna kill me. She leaned closer. Is that a yes or no? Eli looked up at her, heart racing. Let's start with holding hands first, Zura smiled. That's fair, but just so you know. My species kisses with our antennae too. Good to know, he grinned. Should I be scared? She winked. Only if you're delicious. And for the first time, Eli wasn't sure if he was the hunter or the meal. Zura was standing in front of a mirror, practicing how to be tasty, not for eating. Not anymore, but for romance. She curled her fingers under her chin and smiled. I am sweet. Then she tried again. No, I am spicy. Then she tilted her head, lifted one antenna, and whispered, Come closer, human male. I won't bite unless you ask nicely. She burst out laughing at her own reflection. Things had changed. She no longer feared Eli. Now she feared something else. What if he didn't really like her back? What if she wasn't tasty enough emotionally? On her home planet, courtship involved glowing pheromones and ritual dances, but humans were confusing. They kissed with mouths. They used food words to flirt. And sometimes, they didn't say how they felt at all. They just stared at you like. They were trying to read your soul. She had to know what Eli felt. No more guessing. So that evening, she walked straight to his quarters and knocked. He opened the door wearing a soft shirt and a surprised smile. Hey Zura, everything okay? She looked up at him with serious eyes. I need to talk to you. Sure. Come in. She stepped inside, took a deep breath, and said, If you had to describe me as a food, what would I be? Eli blinked. What? Would I be a snack, a dessert, a full meal? Just tell me the truth. He laughed. Okay, what's this about? I want to understand how much you like me. Food words are your way, so use them. Eli sat down slowly, All right, your warm bread. Soft on the inside, smells like safety. You're something I want to have again and again. Zura blinked. Her tail curled. Bread? She whispered. Double quotes, yeah, my favorite thing. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. Eli chuckled, glad to hear it. She walked toward him and sat beside him on the couch. Their knees touched. I have one more question, she said softly. Go ahead. If kissing is tasting and touching is trust, then what does eating mean in your romance? Eli looked nervous. Can you explain what you mean? Zura looked innocent. In your movies, humans eat each other up during love scenes. It looks intense. Very physical. Eli turned bright red. Oh, you mean that kind of eating? Yes. She leaned in closer. Is it done with love? He laughed awkwardly. It can be, yeah, with someone special. Zura's eyes locked onto his. Would you ever do it with me? Eli blinked. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Zura frowned. Did I say it wrong again? No, he said quickly. No, you just caught me off guard. She smiled. So is that a yes? He smiled back. Zura, I like you a lot, but I want to go slow. I want you to feel safe. I want to know. What makes you comfortable? She tilted her head. I'm comfortable when I feel trusted. He took her hand gently. Then let's build that trust. One step at a time. Her fingers curled around his. I still don't understand everything about humans, she said softly. But I think your kind doesn't eat love, you feed it. Eli nodded. Exactly. She looked down at their joined hands. In that case, can I have a second serving? He laughed, leaned forward, and gently pressed a kiss to her antenna. Zura's whole body glowed a soft blue. This time it wasn't fear. It was something sweeter. Zura's final report to her homeworld was titled, Danger Level, Delicious. Status, Safe. She sat cross-legged on her sleeping pod, glowing softly under the warm light, her antenna lazily twitching. She held her translator pad in one hand and chewed on a sweet human fruit called a strawberry, a gift from Eli. Her report played aloud in her own language as she spoke. To the Sicaria High Council, I have completed my research. Human males do not eat their females, not with knives, not with fire. They eat with love. She paused, blushed, and added softly, and sometimes with lips. She giggled to herself and tossed the last piece of fruit in her mouth. The door behind her chimed. She turned. Come in. Eli stepped inside, carrying a folded blanket and 2 mugs of something warm. I brought you tea. Thought it might help you sleep. Zura smiled. You always bring soft things. He shrugged. You like soft. She reached out, took the mug, and looked at him with glowing eyes. You know what I like most? What? You. With that silly smile and your strange food words. Eli chuckled. You're not afraid of me anymore, huh? Zura leaned closer, her antenna brushing gently against his cheek. I was never afraid of you. I was afraid of being eaten without meaning, he blinked. That's deep. I read poetry. Of course you did. They both laughed. She sipped her tea slowly, then looked up again. Back home, they'll all panic when they read my report. They'll think humans use kisses like seasoning. Oh no, Eli grinned. What exactly did you tell them? She lifted the holopad and read aloud with a serious voice. Humans consume those they love. But not with hunger, with care. Their bites are kisses. Their cravings are emotional, and their favorite flavor is connection. Eli stared. Did you just write romantic science? She smirked. Yes, it's now an official Sicaria document. Then she sat beside him and rested her head gently on his shoulder. They'll send more females now, to investigate. He laughed nervously. Should I be worried? Maybe we're curious creatures. He wrapped the blanket around both of them, their shoulders touching. The room went quiet. The ship hummed softly around them. No danger, no confusion. Just comfort. Zura looked up and whispered, "Thank you for not eating me." Eli leaned down and kissed her forehead. "I'm still full from all your sweetness." She rolled her eyes, smiled, and whispered something in her language. The translator beeped. "You ridiculous male. I think I love you." And somewhere, light years away on the Sicaria homeworld, the council sat frozen, reading her final line. Request, send more strawberries and pillows. Human love is very squishy.